construction industry, but also the SEIU locals do have plans like that. It says Taft-Hartley plans could also function similar to accountable care organizations being paid by New York Health. And I also noticed there's a lot of great unions on here, but there are no construction trade unions on here. And I don't know if there's been resistance to this from the trades, or it just hasn't, I don't know what the outreach has been.
Yeah. Good question. I think I have a reasonably good answer.
Well, because Taft-Hartley plans exist under federal law, if an industry and its unions want to continue the Taft-Hartley plan, they would have a right to do that. I'd be surprised if they would want to, because the employers and the employees would also be paying the premiums under the New York Health Act, and the benefits under the New York Health Act would be richer than any Taft-Hartley benefit package I've ever heard of. There are a couple of things that a Taft-Hartley plan might want to sort of reorient itself and do. There are some Taft-Hartley plans, and I'm thinking particularly of the hotel workers in New York City, that run a network of health centers that their workers go to. The hotel worker health center in Manhattan, when Peter Ward took me on a tour of it, I said, how do I get to go here? And he said, I'll tell you the same thing I tell the hotel executives who come around and look at it: get a job in the bargaining unit. So there are, and there are other unions that have terrific healthcare facilities. If they choose to, they could continue to have those union healthcare facilities. They would then get paid, not from the welfare fund, but they would get paid from the New York Health Act. And if they chose to, they could then treat anybody in town who wanted to come, if they wanted to. There are a health plan, a Taft-Hartley plan could also organize healthcare providers into a network, as if they were an accountable care organization. And in New York City, some of the health union plans have done exactly that. They could also function doing what the bill calls care coordinating, which is essentially helping union members stay on their whatever their doctor recommends, help them connect up with other healthcare providers, keep track of appointments, etc. So a health plan could do that if it chose to. But certainly for the vast majority of union health plans, the New York Health Act would step into their shoes, basically. Now, for an awful lot of unions, that's a scary proposition, because for the union, providing the union health benefit has for decades been a very important service that it provides to its members, and a very important benefit of being in the union. I would say that being relieved of that burden would give every union the opportunity to do a lot more for its members than it now can, in terms of negotiating over wages and retirement benefits and vacation, et cetera, et cetera. If I don't know any, there is now an effort to raise the minimum wage, which I support very strongly. There are many unions who have a lot of minimum wage employees. Unions could say, gee, if if the legislature raises the the $9 an hour workers to 15, you know, why do they need the union? No union has said that, because I think every union recognizes that if the law can raise the wages, A, that's great for our members, and B, that enables us to go to the bargaining table about something else other than raising the minimum wage workers. Paid family leave. There are unions that have negotiated paid family leave. I think they're all delighted to hear that the legislature is going to try to require every employer to provide paid family leave. That would enable the union to put their guns into, you know, negotiating other things. We've had several, to get to the next part of your question about the trades, we've had several conversations with the New York City Central Labor Council and with several of the major building trades unions in it. I think they certainly understand the threat to their existence that the Taft-Hartley plans now constitute. That it has shifted from being, wow, this is great, we do health benefits, to being, oh my God, how can we survive if we're responsible for the health benefit? I mean, I forget the exact percentages, but a huge percent of their total wage and benefit package is the benefit plan. It's great that they have a good benefit plan, but it's outrageously expensive. And they understand that moving to the New York Health Act could be really the key to survival for the union, let alone enabling them to work on getting other benefits. They raise concerns about the issue of retirees, because a lot of building trades people retire before they become eligible for Medicare, and if employment-based retiree benefits disappear, how will they be benefited? And they're also concerned about, if you're a retiree and you've got pension income, are you now going to be paying a premium, whereas, and how would that compare with what you would have paid for a retiree health benefit? So there are a lot of issues we're working out with them, and what I've said to them is, it's going to take a long time for this train to arrive. This is not a bill that you have to worry. It's going to become law in June, and you won't have had a chance for input. And I've said to them, you've got a choice. You can either sit on the sidelines until the package gets a whole lot better, in which case it may never get there, or you can help get the train moving faster, and while you're riding on the train, we're all going to work out the details. You don't have to worry that this is a train that's going to get such a head of steam that we won't have to listen to you anymore. And I think Gary LaBarbera, head of the Building Trades Council in the city, I think he very much understands that. And so we have been working with them on working out a lot of those details. I'd love to be able to tell you that the Building Trades Council said that afternoon, great, sign us on. Obviously, they're not there yet, but I think we're making good progress. And I think they understand that with a couple of features worked out, it could be enormously beneficial to them and their members.